Hey guys, I hope that you're really well. Today I thought I would do a video on some of my favourite releases of 2017 as part of some of the extra content on my channel. So maybe even if you guys are looking for some new music to sink your teeth into, this might be a really good video for you. So let's just go straight into it. So the first one is definitely my favourite release 2017. I don't think that listening to another song has quite literally left me speechless like this song has for a while, and that is Doomsday by Architects. Obviously they'd been really quiet and they hadn't been touring much, they hadn't been playing any shows or releasing any music because of Tom's death. So I know that they released this one as a one-off, and I remember when I first heard it, it just blew my mind. It was just incredible. It was like, I've loved Architects since they're probably one of the first bands that I discovered in university. If you go way back onto my channel, I did a really old cover of Heartburn when I was really young, and they were just like, they were my uni jam. They were so good, and hearing what they did, because I didn't really listen much to the album before that, Doomsday was just like everything that I wanted. Obviously when I listen to music, I kind of like to level it out quite a lot. If there's a lot of screaming in it, like I do listen to bands like that, but I do like a lot of melodic-y parts in it. I found that a lot of their older stuff prior to Doomsday didn't really have much. It just didn't really have much of what I was looking for. So when Doomsday came out, it was just everything that I'd been hoping that they were going to do. I remember reading in quite a few interviews that Doomsday was actually just a one-off, so I think Tom started writing it and then they finished it for him. So I don't know how much of the new album is going to sound like that, but I'm kind of hoping that they do shift their sound a little bit more towards that way, because it was just so much more melodic and it's just a beautiful piece of writing. I've actually got tickets. I'm going to see them on February the 3rd at Ali Pali back in London. I'm so excited. I haven't seen them in so long because I'd gone through a phase where I'd been to loads of their gigs and I used to see them all the time, and then I was like, right, okay, I need to chill out a bit because I've kind of reached my Architects quota. So I'm really excited to be back in, and I cannot wait to see them, and I'm so looking forward to their next release. The next one has to be Paramore's Rose Coloured Boy. When the single came out for Hard Times, I really didn't like it at all. And whilst Hard Times has grown on me, it wasn't the song that made me want to listen to the album. When the album first came out, because it was so different, I was like, not interested. But it is a grower. It's a grower, that's what it is. I feel like because I've studied this a bit more, I kind of understand a bit more about it. I wouldn't class their album as just going pop. It feels like there's so much more than that. Like, they've obviously been inspired by like some really old music and some really funky bass line. I think recognising that has kind of helped me to actually like the album, because a lot of people will just go, oh, they're pop, they've sold out, whereas I don't really think that's pop. But I think Rose Coloured Boy is probably the first song on the album that made me want to listen to the rest of the album. I now do think the release as a whole is quite good. I wouldn't class After Laughter as one of my favourite things 2017, but there are songs on there like Rose Coloured Boy. I think another one is probably Told You So. The bass line in that is just so good. Oh, it's just so good. And vocally, a lot of the songs on the album are really fun to sing. They're just really, I don't know, cool, and you can tell they're having fun, and that's kind of what you want to see, really, isn't it? I, however, don't think my heart will get over the fact that Hayley and Chad broke up, and the fact that the album is called like Fake Happy, and there's all this kind of like behind the scenes stuff about how she was probably going through a marriage that was breaking down, or she knew was going to end, and it was very short-lived, and like, my heart still cannot cope with that. For my next one, there are two songs by the same band, and it's in the same album, but I haven't listened to the album, so I can't really go too much into that. First off, it's Empty Throne by Alaska, and then it's Phoenix by Alaska. So if you guys haven't heard of Alaska, you need to listen to them so much. If I could be in a band, it would be like Alaska. They are actually on my, I guess, wish list of bands that I want to work with. A lot of the time people ask me questions, they're like, oh, you know, who do you want to work with? What bands do you wish that you could work with? Alaska are on that list. If I ever got to collaborate with them, oh man, it would be so good. But they've already got a kick-ass singer, so they probably don't need me. The band Alaska were formerly known as Burning Down Alaska. They had some incredible releases, and they just went through a bit of a lineup change, a bit of a sound change, I think. So they changed their name last year, and that's when they brought out their album. If the guys watch this, I'm very sorry. I haven't really got round to listening to the album. I don't really know why. It is on my to-do list, but the first song that I heard from their new release was Empty Throne, and I fell in love with it. I think it was on repeat for about a week, And then I can't remember if the next one was a single release or not, but the next one is called Phoenix, and that is another song that I just had on repeat. They've got this really amazing clean vocalist. He's incredible live. If you get the chance to see them live, you will not be disappointed. He is absolutely flawless, and his vocal melodies are beautiful. They're so nice to sing. I just find they're a lot of me in a band. They basically got every kind of element that I like in a band. They're ambienty, they're reverby, they are quite heavy at times. They've got a screamer, he's amazing as well. Clean vocals are deliciously melodic and caramel-like, and they are just so good. I don't really know how else to describe them because I can't really relate other bands to Alaska. The next one is a single, and it's by a band called Blue Ket, and the single is called Kiss Me, Kill Me. I only really found the song and the band late in December. I don't actually know when it was released or anything, but the song was just gorgeous. So I had to hire a new designer last minute for my merch designs because the one that I had hired had some stuff going on and he had to cancel last minute, which was a bit frustrating. So I was going a bit mental trying to find someone. I found a new designer anyway, and the way that he works is he does live streams of him working on your design, and only you can see them, but basically you can see his live progression of him working on your design, and you can kind of feedback in the stream as he's doing it. Whilst he was working on my design, he was playing some music, and it was Kiss Me Kill Me by Blue Ket. I was kind of dipping in and out of the stream and I couldn't stop thinking about this song, and I was like, what song is that? You have to tell me. Can't remember how I found it, but I think I either Shazammed it or I could see him changing his music selection at the top of his computer, and that's when I found it, and I have fallen in love with it. And I mean fallen in love to the, you know when like you find a song and you have to put it on repeat constantly? I was in the bath and I had it on repeat so long. Whilst I got out the bath, whilst I was changing, whilst I went downstairs cooking food, I think I probably played it over 50 times. And since then I have had it on repeat, long car journeys, in the bath again. Like, it's just been on constant repeat. It's basically just a stunning piece of songwriting, plain and simple. Definitely check the song out. The next one should come as no surprise to anyone, but the next one is gonna be In Bloom by Neck Deep, but really it's the whole album of The Peace and the Panic. So I have to make a confession, I don't really keep updated with much new music, and I think that's something I need to do in 2018 really, but I don't listen to the radio, I just kind of have what's on. So the only time that I really discover new music is if people are sharing it on my timeline, or I follow the band themselves and I see music. So that's something I need to work on. But every now and again on a Sunday night we might have the Radio 1 rock show playing, or if we're driving somewhere and we happen to catch it, it will be on in the car. And that is when I heard Neck Deep's In Bloom. As you guys know, the minute I heard it, I literally ran home and I was like, that song, I need to cover that song, that's incredible. And that was kind of like one of the first properly thought out, properly executed ambient-y covers that I did, and that I just fell in love with In Bloom. It was just such a nice song. I just thought it was a really good release for Neck Deep. The chorus was so good, it was so catchy, and it was just a bit different, but it was one of those songs that you couldn't get out of your head. A lot of these songs in this videos are songs that I've heard and I've instantly been like, wow, I cannot stop thinking about you. That has to be like a great release to me. Obviously, I love In Bloom, but then when the album came out, the thing that I have with albums is that a lot of the time I can't normally sit through a whole album, hence why I don't always rush to check out the album of a band that have released a single that I really like. For example, I'll listen to a couple of other songs and they won't be like classed as singles or hits, so I'll just skip them and then I won't really come back, when in reality if I just sat and listened to the damn thing, I might actually find something that I really like. With Neck Deep's album, every song that I listened to had some kind of catchy element that made me want to keep listening to it. I remember sitting on the floor, packing my merch, and I had the album on loop over and over again, and there was not one song in that album that I didn't like. The last time I remember that happening was with Amity Affliction's album, and the time before that I remember happening was with one of Hilary Duff's album, Don't Judge. The next one is a band that I don't think you guys will have heard of, but it is a song release from an EP. I remember receiving the demos and thinking, oh my god, this was another on repeat. So the band is called Imbue and the EP is called Elements, but the song that I think is just incredible is a song called Silver and Gold. I do have quite a good story for this one. A couple of years ago, before I used to live where I am now, I used to live just outside London, and I came to Macmillan Festival, which is in Nottingham, one year. So that year, Matt wanted to go and watch one of his friends play, and he told me a story about his friend before he went to go see him. As far as I'm aware, at some point, Matt said my surname's his friend's, and this friend said Christina Rotondo, as in the girl on YouTube, Christina Rotondo. And it turns out that he'd already watched some of my videos, which was so cool, and I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, we went to go watch him, and I was just like, this guy's voice is so nice. I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that I'm used to listening to a lot of metal-esque, harder genre males perform, and he just had a really gorgeous singing voice, really. Anyway, we are now good friends, and he's done various releases. However, when he released this work with his band, he sent me the demos before it got released, and I remember listening to Silver and Gold, and again, it was a repeat in the car for ages. I went to go see them live, they're amazing. It gives me loads of Biffy Clyro feels. The guitar work is just really nice and snappy, and then his voice is, it's just really nice the way that he sings. However, he's also got that really nice raspy element to it, but it's nice being able to just hear like a really good singer. It's the kind of song that's very much roll down your windows, have it playing super duper loud, and just drive wherever you want to drive to. That's what it kind of gives me. If you're also in the Derby, Nottinghamshire area, I definitely recommend checking them out because the performance live, it's just a solid gig performance of everything that you want. There's loads of energy, it sounds like the record, and you have a good time, so I'd thoroughly recommend it. The next release is by a band which I think a few of you do already know, and they are called Our Hollow Our Home, and the song that I just think is a really good release, but there's loads on the album, is their song Heartsick. The reason I actually found this song is because last year I jumped on tour with them. They just released an album, and I think it was their album release show, and we hung out. I jumped on stage at their Leeds show, and it was amazing, and they had their videographer with them called Ollie, who is also an incredible guy. Whilst I was there, he obviously got some footage, and the song that he used when he put the tour diary up where I was in, it was kind of like an instrumental stretch of the song, and it was where everything just kind of came all the way down. The song at the beginning was catchy as anything, and then it came down to this really nice, really delicate, simplistic guitars that kind of built up again into this really good song. And I know that sounds really weird to say, but it was just a really nice instrumental part of a song that could just go so well over like a video. That sounds really odd. I guess I'm kind of thinking about it in like filming terms, but it was just a really nice piece of music that could go so well over so many things. Obviously I have listened to the whole album since then. The entire album is a bloody masterpiece. I think they're demoing their next album now, which is going to be amazing. I keep seeing Snapchats and I'm like, oh my god, just show me everything. In general though, they're just an amazing band. They've been making waves through 2017, and I know they're going to be doing amazing things in 2018. They have been working really hard. Again, I think they might be on the wish list of bands to work with. Their songwriting skills are just great. Really good band. If you haven't heard of them yet, you will do soon, but definitely go and check them out if you like any of the kind of music that I listen to at all. The next one is While She Sleeps, Silence Speaks, and it's one of the only While She Sleeps songs that I've listened to in a really long time, or at least before Silence Speaks came out. Obviously I knew who While She Sleeps were, liked them as a band, but just didn't really have any of their songs saved to my library, purely for the fact that their music became very, very heavy. It wasn't as melodic as what it is now. And like I said, I like that really melodic element to it. So when Silence Speaks came out, it was really, really different from their previous releases, and I personally really liked that. A lot of people didn't. I thought it was wicked. The fact that Ollie Sykes was in it was probably even better. I mean, it was just like two really great bands, well, you know, artists combining together, and it was just beautiful. On from that, I also really enjoy Hurricane. I haven't checked out much of the album again because that's the kind of person I am, we have realised. But if they do carry on with the melodic direction, then I am definitely going to check more out. They are going to be at the Ali Pali show with Architects, so if I have missed out on some really good music there, that is my chance to catch up and listen to some really good stuff. But yeah, I am enjoying this direction of While She Sleeps. I don't want to say it's a little bit Bring Me the Horizon, but it is a little bit Bring Me the Horizon, you know, not in the sense that they sound like a similar band, but in the sense that they've got similar qualities. If I could get away with being in a band that was basically kind of like Silence Speaks, but with a girl singing and obviously a little bit more melodic because I can't scream, I would try that so bad, because it was just so catchy. So yeah, that is pretty much it from me. I hope you guys liked this video, and let me know if you did like it, and if you want to see more, whether that's like monthly or yearly or whatever. Let me know your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next video.